Hello, hello. You're all welcome to this session. In today's session, we're going to be looking at some other very important topics and concepts in Power BI. Specifically, we're going to be looking at Power BI visualization. So, before now, we talked about different charts, talked about formatting visuals, formatting charts, adding colors, adding images to Power BI charts, making it beautiful, making it appealing, making it aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. So today we're going to be taking a step forward to also look at, okay, what are the other different features that are in Power BI? So sit back, relax, and let's get things started. So today we are going to be looking at the reason for having multi-page reports. So now, before now, we have always looked at developing dashboard on a particular page in Power BI. However, we can have multiple pages, and it's even advisable to have multiple pages. And the reason being that it's easy when you have multiple pages to bring out more insights. We all know that because our screen or your dashboard, it's only going to take probably some inches. However, if you have multiple pages, you are able to easily go put some insights on one page, put some other insights on some other pages. So let's assume that you are working on a particular project. Let me just say a project that, so you have your overarching question, so your line manager or the stakeholders in the company wants to understand how they are doing or how the company is doing for the whole year. And you want to touch base on different departments, so the marketing, sales, operations. So you want to look at all of these three areas of a company, of the organization. To put those three areas on one dashboard is going to be quite daunting. It's going to be quite difficult, and it's also going to be messy because you want to drill down, right? You want to make things as simple as possible. So what will be coming to your mind at the moment is, why don't we have multiple pages where one page is talking about marketing? Even you can have two pages for marketing, one page is talking about sales, even you can have more than one page for sales. Then some other pages are talking about operations. Then first page we then talk about everything you want to talk about. Maybe um, a summary of everything. So that's what multi-page Power BI dashboard gives you. It allows you to be able to put insights or insight in different silos, where one particular page will be conveying what you want to convey at that point in time. So you're able to organize your storytelling into bits. When you open a YouTube video or if you go to a cinema to watch a video, and they give you the teaser, they give you the prologue, they give you different things, sequel, everything, bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. They don't just put everything on your face at a go. So one of the mistakes that data analysts make before now is just want to throw everything out, just want to throw all the insight, you want to throw everything. But now we have learned that we need to silo insights. So that's why we have the pyramid framework, the by-pyramid framework, where you come from the overarching question, then you have sub-questions. So these your sub-questions can have different pages, right? So Under a sub question, you have data to answer those questions, right? So on your chart or on your page, what you want to see is the analysis that are answering that sub question. Then you go to another page. You can even have multiple pages for even one sub question if you have like many data points that speak to that question. So you go to another page, you're talking about another question. You're answering another question. You go to another page, you're answering another question. You go to another page, you're answering another question. Then bringing everything together, you can then look at a summary page that brings everything together. So when you bring everything together, then you can then say, okay, this is the overarching insight. So that's what Power BI gives you. So that you are not cornered into using just one dashboard or just one sheet or just one page to convey the millions of insights that are on your mind. So that's what Power BI gives you, and that's what we're going to be working about today, or working around today. To be able to effectively do this, there are some things we need to learn. We're going to learn slicers. We're going to learn filters. We're going to learn what we call drill through. And we're going to learn what I refer to as buttons, because buttons are very important. So you can see that this is an example of a button. I can easily click this and I go to another page. I can easily go to customer spending. Then, okay, there's no button here. And if I go to profit analysis, I can click this and go to another page. You can see I've come to customer spending. So that's what buttons give you. So for slicers, this is an example of a slicer. So it helps us, perform some tasks. So these are the things we're going to be learning today. So sit back, relax, and bring out your PC so that we can all go through this together. So by now, I think we all have understood the utility of having a multi-page report. So that's the utility. It helps us to convey our insights bit by bit so that the story becomes clear, becomes compelling. So you try to follow a storyline. Then the way we build stories in movies, where we are bringing the story from the start, the prologue, until it reaches the crescendo. That's when in Indian movies you see what we call intermission. In Nigerian parlance, you see like all of those actions. Dun, 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 dun. That's the crescendo. That's the oh, that's the point where people some folks starts to cry. That's the crescendo. So that's what analysts also try to build. You don't just throw everything on the face of or in the face of the stakeholders. You don't just throw everything in the face of people that are watching your slideshow or your presentation. You want to ensure that you pull them in bit by bit, so that when you hit the summary, it's like a crescendo. I'm like, oh ho, ha ha, wow. That's what you want to do. And that's what a multi-page report helps you. So let's start with what a slicer does. So what a slicer does, so for slicer or for filters, you always want to look at categorical variables. So just to explain what categorical variable mean, a categorical variable is a variable that has multiple levels. A variable like gender. Gender can be male or female, right? May also have multi levels if you are in the Western world. So, for example, we have a categorical variable here, which is elite membership. So elite membership on this data set is a categorical variable. So on this categorical variable, you can have either the person is a bronze member, a gold member, or is not a member at all, or is a silver member. And that's a categorical variable. Average spend is not a categorical variable because it doesn't have clear levels. You can see 250, 500, 750, 1000. The reason this is easy is maybe you just have four categorical, maybe categorical categories of products people can buy. If that's the case, then it's possible to have such, but that doesn't make it a categorical variable because in Elite Club membership, we have clear-cut levels. Average spend can be 251. Maybe it's just because of the way our data is. So let's go to departments. So you can see most popular departments. You can see many categories. So this is a categorical variable. Let's go to KPI targets. So you can see Elite Club membership. Let's go to spending. So we have gender, say, as a categorical variable. Last name is a categorical variable because it has different entries, many entries. So there are no clear-cut levels. So that's not a categorical variable. So go to country. Country will be a categorical variable. We have many countries. We have just one country, so I'm a categorical variable. So any variable that you can, put it in context of levels, so different levels, then that variable is a categorical variable. So for your filter, for your slicer, these are the things you are going to be using. You can only use a categorical variable to easily filter or to easily slice. So what do you use a filter for? So you can filter, there are three levels to filtering. You can filter your insights by all of your, okay, let me start with this one. So by charts. So I have this chart of distribution of profit by departments. So I can decide to filter only that chart. So on this, I just want this thing to be shown on this chart. So how do you use filter? So once you click on the chart or anything, you see filter button. So just click on this double arrow or double greater sign or double less than sign. Once you click on it in visual filter, so you can put in the filter. You go now. I've clicked on the chart. So you have to make the chart active if you want to filter only the charts. So next thing is, all right, the filter is already there. So I want to filter only when, so I want to filter by categories first. So I want to show automotive, baby, beauty, books, CDs, and clothing. Those are the insights I just want to show. I don't need all of them, all of the departments. Or because my chart is a cross tabulation, so I have two variables that are cross tabulated. I have profit and I have department. So what I have filtered before was department. I can also filter profit where I say, okay, only if profit is greater than or equal to a particular amount, let's say 11,000. So you can see 2.8K and 1.3K should go away once I apply that. Once I apply filter, you can see now I have only those that have 11K and above, greater than or equal to. So that's how filter works. So you can either filter by chart. So just make the chart active, then go to your filter pane, then start to do whatever it is you want to do. Or you can filter by the page. So on this page, now I have multi pages. So on this page, only on this profit analysis page. So what I will do is I will just click on the page to ensure that no chart is active. So once I click on the page, then I can come here. You will see filter on this page and filter on all pages. Whatever it is I drag to this filter on this page will only apply to this page. So I can go to purchase pattern also and do the same thing. I can go to customer spending and do the same thing. I can go to target analysis and do the same thing. Mind you, to name your page, when you click on this plus, it brings page one. You can either double click, Control A, then name the page, or you right click and rename. Any of the two that you want to do. So you can see I have renamed it to yes. So it's just for you to go to that page. If you want to filter by page, go to the page, click out, ensure that no chart is active, then drag your categorical variable to filter on this page. So if I click on bronze, gold, you can see that everything is applying to all of the pages. All the charts on this page. You can see it's applying to it, everything. But then the one I did first, where I have clicked the chart, was only applicable to that chart. The third part is when you want to filter on your report, all of your reports. So what I do is I would, by the way, if you have picked anyone, just click on this thing that is like an eraser. You can clear the filter. So it's easy. Just ensure that you can always click on it. And you can even cancel and remove the filter. So if I want it to be applicable to all of the pages on my report, I'll just drag it to filter on all pages. So notice what is on customer spending before, 595.73 2K. Notice how this is. So if I drag and say, okay, I want it to be on all pages, you can see it's applicable here. If I go to this place, it's also applicable. You see that it's changing. This will start to change because it's applicable to all of the pages. You can see it's changing, not only on one chart, on all of that, and on all of the pages. It's either you filter only on one chart, or you filter on all charts in one page, or you filter on all charts in all pages. It's dependent on what you want. So let's say I am presenting sales, right? And I'm presenting sales by different departments. So what this department has gotten, what this department has gotten, this department has gotten, what this department has gotten. And I'm like, okay, there are multiple departments. And multiple departments, I want to only show. So I have one page for each department. So in my first analysis, I want to first show only for the sales that were made by our female employees. Because I don't want to always, go to another department and still say I want to filter, go to another department, I want to filter. I only want to show for only female. What I'll just do is I'll just drag gender to what? To the filter on all pages. To this place. Let me annotate so that. So I just drag gender to this filter on all pages. So on all of my pages, once I click female, all the insight that will be on all of my pages is only going to be based on our female employees, our female sales reps. Now, if I want to show for male, I'll just need to go to that filter button and change to male. I have that. If I want to show for everybody, I just click on the clear. Then I'm good to go. But if it's just one page, then I leave it out of this guy. Then I come to this guy. If it's just one page. But if it's just one chart, what I'll just do is I leave it out of this guy. I will click on the chart itself. Once I click on the chart itself, then I bring on the filter button. Filter on this visual. That's all. That's all. That's all. Easy. Now, what does a slicer do? A slicer is different from a filter, although do the same thing somehow. But what in the way Power BI does is that you can either use the two. or you can use both, dependent on you. And like I've said, everything is dependent on your imagination. But what slicer does is that a slicer will be a button that will be shown on your dashboard. Unlike, you know, okay, today is only on male employees. So I'll just here, then that's gone. I can just, close this guy and I'm not coming back there again. But a slicer will be, it will be on your face. It has to be visible. That's when between a slicer and a filter. A slicer will be on your face, but a filter will be like in the background. You do the same thing. So a slicer, this and this. So just pick your slicer button from here. So go to tools, click out, pick your slicer button. Once you click on your slicer button, then you can format it so that your slicer button can work well. So what field do I want to do? I bring up, so Allied Club membership. That's what I want to do. I want this analysis to be for Allied Club membership. I mean, I want to ensure that nothing is on. Ensure that my insight is perfect. Okay, perfect. So where were we? Yeah, so you can see I already have this. So like I said, you can only select selection by clicking something that looks like this thing, a button that looks like an eraser. So I have added the field. Then the next thing I want to do is to what will be the values on the values that are here, how would they look like? So I can, bold, by bold the heading, I can change the font, so anything I want, can increase, and you can see, you can do anything I want. So that's for the values. So values are what's on the slicer. These are the values, the levels can be attained. So I can do slicer setting. What kind of slicer do I want? So there's a drop down. So instead of showing everything, I can click on this. So that's the same thing as what I see. So or you put it as a, if I put it as a vertical list, I can't, so it will not be like this. So it has to show everything at the same time. But to optimize your space, so we always use drop down so that put this up. You want to get it at this point and goes back up. But in vertical lists, it will not, it would have to show everything at the same time. And that's a poor usage of space, especially if you don't have much space on your dashboard. So that's for the slicer setting. The slicer header, you can change the header. So membership, I will change the header to membership. So you can see we change it. So I can bold it, I can use the fonts, more bold to people who are watching. And I'm good to go. I can do the background, I can do the border, do anything I want, do anything I want. So all of those ones are there dependent on you. Now on the general, you can do effects. What kind of effects do you want? You can do the title, what kind of title, just to put, and I see this off, you can put it on. So that's for that. Data format, how would the data look like? So that's just it. Format option, then anything put there. So that's what a slicer gives. So a slicer gives you on this page, what does this look like? Or filter can either be on that page or multiple page or a particular chart. So that's the difference between a slicer and so filter would either be on chart or on page or all of the pages. Or a slicer would be all the pages on that chart. So that's about that. That's about slicer and filter. And the next thing we want to talk about is what I refer to as the features that are needed in a multi-page report. The features that are needed in a multi-page report. So we've established why we need a multi-page report. We've established that. The next thing we want to look at is what are the features that are needed in a multi-page report. So one of the first feature that I want us to look at is in insert. And they are either text box or button or shapes image. So this purchase pattern analysis, this guide I have at the top here, and which you have to use so as to be able, you can be able to name your pages. Like anybody that looks at your dashboard will be able to say, okay, this is what this page is talking about. Even if they don't look at the name of your page, you can use this dashboard. So you can see this. So this is a text box. So you can, if you want to insert a text box, just come to insert, then click on text box. Then you can drag it around, and drag it to anywhere you want to put it on the page of dashboard, anywhere. Then you can format the font size, and you can start write anything you want to write, type, and type. So I want to write the same thing I wrote up there, purchase pattern analysis. Next thing I want to now do is format it and make sure it's like I have up there. So I'm going to click on it now. Okay. So, all right. So it's now active. So I want to, I would highlight it so that it's like I'm doing it. Okay. Change the color to white. I'll change the background so that I'll come to effect so that the background will now be dark. I bold it. I center it. Then I can put the fonts. So let it see. Then we drag to make this static. Drag there. Drag here. Increase again. Increase again. So see, beautiful. So that's what it takes. That's what. One other thing that is very important is you can see that when you create anything on your dashboard, it's put some things on layers. Put some things on layers. So that's another thing you want to do. You have to ensure that you are able to arrange your charts. There are some things that when you create any charts, there is order to what you have created. So if you create another thing, it has to be at the back of the first one that you have created. So one of the things we do is we try to put order. So we're going to talk about that in the GP. For now, let's finish with our insert. So the next thing you can also insert is you can insert an image. So I want to insert this image of my favorite club, Arsenal Football Club. Well, not really now. They're the champions of England. So you can also insert a button. This button is very important because it's the one that performs like the most functions. It's very important though. Like where you can insert left arrow, you can insert right arrow. Obviously you start to see, oh wow, you already start seeing different things that you can do. Maybe you want to go to previous page, you want to go to next page, you want to go to something else, reset your page. You are already saying things that you can do, Q&A, different buttons, information, different buttons. So clear all slicer kind of thing. So this one will clear all the slicers, anything you have picked. So to ensure that your dashboard is pleasing to the eyes, it's aesthetically beautiful. That's why we have all of these features. So you can put button. So if you pick any button, the button will perform a particular action. So when I add any button, so the button will perform a particular action. Even your image can perform an action. And we're going to talk about all of the actions now. You can also insert a shape. You can see different shapes. You don't need to draw them. Power BI would create them for you. Then you can resize, enlarge, make them minimal, anything you want to do. Different kind of shapes. You can even create an arrow. And all of these things that we are inserting can perform actions, not only buttons. Buttons are, the natural action planners. They are the ones that, initiate actions. However, anything you insert, either your text box or your buttons or your shapes or your image, they can perform an action. And that's what we want to do now. So now you notice that I have a multi-page report and I want to be able to go to a particular page from a particular page. I can easily say that, okay, so I have another page for football. Let me start with that. I have another, so I've created a page called football here. So I'm going to rename that page as football. Then, and I've created another page as summary. So let me create a page as, no, let me name it overview. So now on this overview page, I have inserted my image, many images. I've inserted many images or many buttons and everything. So one of the buttons I have inserted is this image. So let me insert another button. Let me insert. No, let me do this one after the other. So I've inserted this image called, this is Timber and this is my guys. For those people who are not baptized. So the reason I inserted this image is that I click on it, I can go to football page. This football page. There's a whole gamut of analysis on this football page about football. So on this overview page, what I just want to do is I want to be able to click this page, this image, and go to this football. So what I then do is that I'll go to this image, I'll click on it and make it active, just like we have always doing, we have always been doing, and we have always done. Which is, you want to work on anything or make anything to anything you have inserted or used on your dashboard, you have to first make it active. That's by clicking on it. So it has all of these things that you know that, oh, this is now active. Then you can go to general or image. So on the image, you see action. Then what kind of action? I want you to do something for me. Page navigation to navigate to page. Then the target I want is football. I click out. So whenever I want to go to that page, I'll just press Control and click on it. Bam, I am in football page. Now, if I want to go back to overview, what I just need to do is I will insert a button here. Then I perform an action on that button also. I perform an action on the button and says, okay, I want you to navigate, then go back to overview. So whenever I press Control key and click on this button, I can go back to page overview. You can see how I've navigated. That was button and image. When you insert anything, those are the things that they can help you. They can help you move from one page to another page, and that's how everything works. Easy. So whatever it is you insert, either shape or image or button or text box, you can actually perform actions on them. So they can help you navigate. So you would already see that you can actually have different actions. You can have different actions. So if it's back just means that you are going back to something. Maybe you have, so I want to go back to my previous, just like you are doing Control Z in Word. I want to go back to what I've done or where I'm coming from. Just use back. If I want to bookmark something, I'll use bookmark. If I want to drill through, and we're going to be talking about drill through in the next example. In the next video, rather. If I want to navigate through pages, I'll click on navigation. If I want it to be Q&A, I'll click on Q&A. If I want to be a web URL, where I'll just click on it and it will go to a particular web. So let me use abimswitch.com. So whenever I click it, should go to abimswitch.com. If I click on control, I click on it, then it goes to that web page. Same thing. Easy. Easy. So those are the things that we can have on our, what's it called, on when we insert. So you can have a page to say, okay, apply all slicers. You can have a button that says clear all slicers, so that whenever you want to, you can always. So what I do is, because I know that if I apply multiple slicer, I might forget what I'm doing at some point. So what I do is I would put a blank button and say, and come to general, go to title. I will name it as clear. I'll name it as clear. Then when I name it as clear, the next thing I do is that whenever I want to clear anything that I've done, I'll just put it and click on it so that I can clear all that I have done. So I'll just go to clear, go to action, put it on, then do clear all slicers. So whenever I click on this guy, I'm going to clear any slicer that is on, so that I can always reset my page or my reports. So that's what that does. So you can always go to action and play with what all of the action does. Like I've always said or maintain, you cannot do everything you need to do. Most of what you need to do is still going to be based on what you have done and what you are able to train with or practice. So all of these things that we have worked with, ensure that you are able to practice them. So all of this action, try them out, look at what each action is doing, which one is, whatever it is that you are having good luck. You can always drop a question and we are happy to. So you can see this is an example of a back. So you can go to where you are coming from. We're coming from target analysis. If I click on this back also to go back to profit analysis. But if I'm coming from customer spending, then I go to profit analysis and I press control and click on back. It will take me back to customer. That's where I'm coming from. So that's what back does. If it is clear, clear will clear everything that I have on this on this all the slides that I have on. Let's assume that I have gender on as a slicer. So if I click on clear, clear will clear everything, especially if what I have as clear is clear all sliders. Thank you very much for joining today's. See you next. Bye.